And on Monday, we found out Caleb Porter was sacked. Herc, less than 2 years after delivering an MLS Cup to Columbus, did Porter deserve to be fired?
Yeah, it all starts and ends with him. This is the second straight season that the MLS Cup champs of, 2020 ended up not going to the playoffs. And what's crazy about Caleb Porter is this is a man that's never had back-to-back playoff seasons. In 9 years in charge, no back-to-back playoff seasons, but he won 2 MLS Cups. This is a coach of the year in one of those years. And for whatever reason, he can't get his team to play consistently. That's on the coach. I don't know what to even say here. These are numbers. It's not even an opinion. You can't get your team to play in a manner where they can make consecutive playoff appearances. You don't deserve to be there. This is a very ambitious club. There was that whole Save the Crew movement with new ownership, showed ambition, a brand new stadium. You need to do something to be a consistent player in that market, and in Major League Soccer, Caleb Porter took him as far as he could.
I don't disagree with you, but I want to dig down on Porter just a little bit. Like, how do we explain that? Because I feel like not a lot of people were surprised that Porter was let go, but there's a real short list, Herc, of coaches that have won 2 MLS Cups at different clubs in a 5-year span, right? He's obviously a good or successful coach. Why does he have seemingly such a short shelf life at these different clubs? Like, why can't he repeat the success?
He seems to be a guy that burns bridges, right? Within the club, outside of the club. 9 seasons, I believe, in Major League Soccer. He's only had 4 playoff appearances. But when he does make a playoff appearance, they're dangerous teams. They're teams that make it to the final. They're teams that win. He's won 2 MLS Cups. It's not an easy thing to win MLS Cup, let alone 2 with 2 different teams. But there seems to be at least the outside perception that ends with the overall feeling of the day-to-day of having to work with Caleb Porter. And it's a shame because he's shown that he has a penchant for producing some talented teams. Excuse me.
Yeah, you know what else is interesting? Because you were talking about, like, the ambition Columbus showed. The money they've spent is on the field, too. Don't forget that Cucho Hernandez signing. Yep. That's a $10 million, is that right, transfer fee that they paid a team in the championship for a guy who was, remember, was not going to sell tickets, was never going to get you ratings on TV. That was an on-field win now. And by the way, that guy delivered. He had 9 goals and 2 assists.
Bezchenko knocked it out the park with a signing, Tim Bezchenko. Really quickly, how many points did they lose after the 85th minute? That's on the coach when it continues to happen over and over and over again. And the news that Caleb Porter made this season, or at least the headlines, were more his mouth off the field than actually the team on the field.
Yeah, like the guarantees, the promises, right? Which he also did in Portland. I mean, and when you promise something to the fans, to the ownership, whoever, you got to deliver or you're out. Last point to what you were talking about, 24 points dropped from winning positions for the Crew. There are some stats that I say, all right, this stat is a player stat. There are other stats that I'm like, all right, this is a coaching stat. And I think we clearly know which category that stat falls into.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.